We open ourselves up to the blessings of today because that's the only place we receive and experience and give blessings. In the moment now, in the present moment, here and now, in today. It's a wonderful thing to know it. And it makes us feel wonderful when we do. And so that's why we come together like this. We are approaching now a new month, the month of love, the love month as we call it, February, the month when we celebrate, all that wonderful, beautiful grace and energy and tradition and the lives of all of our wonderful African American people, brothers and sisters amongst us, or wherever from the islands and all over. Our darker toned skin, brothers and sisters, have moved in to this plane and settled wherever they moved into like the rest of us. It's a beautiful thing. And I'm loving all the history that we get and of ourselves in our brothers and sisters, and all the things that were right and all the things that were wrong about it all, so that we can understand each other more fully and deeply and appreciate the beauty of diversity in the unity that all of us are. It's a great month, the month of February, for all kinds of reasons. And I'm very pleased to have a birthday in it, actually. It's the month wherein we've always thought about in our community others in a very special way, especially the children. We call it Love Bear Month. We have for many decades collected love bears throughout the February month, and then we always used to give them to the Children's Hospital in Hollywood, and they were always thrilled. We can't do that anymore because of COVID, and they cannot receive soft toys that are not in boxes. And so sadly, we cannot supply that particular group with our bears, but there are other groups that do receive our bears. So we'll have to consider how we're going to do that, and we'll let you know. And as well as that, this Sunday begins the 64 days for the season of nonviolence. And we take that very seriously throughout our communities all over the world. And it's when we all as a community and all of our communities, and joined by other interfaith groups too, resolve deeply to do all we can in our power, to be all we can in our power, to ensure that we will not be part of the violence in our world, in thought, in word, or in deed, and that we will do everything we possibly can to help create a world of justice and freedom and enoughness for all people, children, everywhere, everywhere. You see, the thing about it is, Spirit knows nothing of boundaries, knows nothing of different countries or different groups, knows nothing of religions that are different. Spirit knows none of that, because Spirit has nothing to do with any of that. And Spirit would never dream of such a thing as its absolute self. But Spirit, by means of you and me in human form, are well able to do that, and we do. Oh, we love to chop things up, label things, differentiate things, keep things separate. We seem to have a genius at that somehow. But you know, when I look out into the world, I also see many, many pockets of beautiful people in pods here and there, all over, that you hear nothing about, because Their news is not sensational enough to make it in the main line. They're just people committed to being the best that they can be, doing the best that they can do for as many as they can serve. And they do it so beautifully, so graciously, and so courageously in many parts of our world. So I'm inviting us now, ahead of Sunday, to think about this and decide, do I really want to be an active part of the season of ahimsa? Now, ahimsa has been translated from its Sanskrit term into non-violence, but it's more than that. It's to be the peacefulness, to walk on this plane in peace, to walk on this plane in love, to walk on this plane in light and do no harm. Do no harm, to not be violent in the way we think, not be violent in the way we feel, and not be violent in the way we do. That's what ahimsa asks of us. And like anything else regarding spirit, it is always an invitation. It's never an enforcement. It's an invitation, because the one who created us as aspects of itself knows that we are at choice and we are free to decide, to choose how we're going to be, what we're going to be, who we will be in form. But is very, very quick to respond to any invitation for good of any kind. Always will respond, even at times when you can do nothing else except say, help! It's right there. Loves that. Responds to any slight invitation to support good in us, but it will never, ever condone bad in us, and will never expand that through us. We'll do that ourselves, and we're good at it. We don't need any help for that. So, what is it in your life now? And there's a whole lot in your life now. God knows in all of our lives, we've more than enough to contend with. How are you going to respond to it all? How are you responding to it all? And it just came to me as I was doing my morning practices that the best and simplest thing we can do is do the best you can with what you have now. As best as you can do it. Just do the best you can. And have the desire. Because desire is an awesome power and force. Desire, intention is potent. Have the desire. That's where it begins, because the desire and the intention is the seed. It's the seed for the growth of this thing you so long for, wish for, desire for in yourself, this good thing. This good thing. And it's a small little seed that'll be planted in a small little part of the soil of your wonderful, fertile mind. There's no more fertile soil than the soil of your mind, that every thought is planting itself in, every idea is deepening itself in, every convicted decision is growing the roots of in that fertile soil of your mind, and my mind too. So let us start with the desire for peace, real peace on earth, in everything and everyone, and in all of creation. Always knowing that that cannot really be truly conceived unless we're conceiving it beginning with ourselves, bringing peace to our minds, our bodies, our hearts, our souls, under our own roofs, in our own families, in our own places of work, wherever we are, wherever we show up, can we think of ourselves as being able to show up as that peace, that integrating, unifying, healing energy, peace. When a peaceful person walks into the room, it's felt, I can tell you. It is felt just as when a disruptive energy enters a room, it's equally felt. And so when the disruptive energy comes into the room, we contract ourselves, guard ourselves. When peaceful energy comes into the room, we open ourselves. And most of the time, we're not even aware of why we're feeling the way we're feeling. But once you and I get deeper into our practices and understand that spiritual practice is not just for certain times throughout the day or year or whatever, it's our whole life. Our whole life is a spiritual practice. Why? Because essentially you are spirit. Essentially I am spirit. The body thing, the human thing, the material thing is a temporary experience, always evolving itself into another temporary experience, into another temporary experience, into another and another and another. But each time that becomes very much more refined, less dense, less heavy, more refined. Now, wouldn't it be an amazing, incredible thing if you and I constantly worked on ourselves at this level? To see that as we deepen ourselves into this awareness of life, my life, your life, all life, things lighten up. Things lighten up. Ways open up before us. Anxiety dissipates itself. Fear goes away. And when it comes back, you just look at it like an old acquaintance and say, here you are. I know you well, but you're not getting to stay. Okay, I've acknowledged you. Now on your way. You don't get to pitch your tent here. No room in the inn. No room. No room. You see, this is what spiritual practice does for us. It frees us. It liberates us. It lifts us up. It's a cradle in which you and I can get into and be rocked around beautifully and soothed and calmed and sung to and come to rest in. Really, that's what it's kind of like, although there's no describing it, and each one of us has our own different experience of it. But I will guarantee you, if you keep at it, in the beginning you'll be all over the place and you'll be annoyed with yourself maybe because nothing happened, because you were waiting for something to happen. Don't expect anything to happen other than you showing up, your willingness to show up and spend time in your own company. God help us all. Very few of us seem to know how to do that. Why? Because we're too married deeply to our gadgets and all the stuff out there that occupies the space in our minds. But I can tell you, there's nothing like what you can download in spirit when you put all that outer gear aside and you just have the guts, the spiritual fortitude to be in your own company. Let me tell you, that's not always easy. And very few people really deliberately and delightedly want to do that. Really. Talk about this to your friends and see what they'll have to say about being in their own company quietly, without any gadgetry, without televisions on, without music playing, without any of the stuff that keeps us distracted from our great selves. Try it out. Ask those near and dear to you. How does this sound? They'll all look at you and say, oh, there she goes. There he goes. But before you do that, try it out in your own life first. Every single day of your life, make sure you have a date with yourself. You have a date with yourself every single day. And you know what? When you do that regularly, you'll want to have several dates throughout the day. To just sit with yourself, be with yourself, listen in on yourself, and listen to what the self can do for you in the way it brings you answers to your questions, in the way it is able to settle your feelings, in the way it's able to, no matter what the ailment is, let you feel that it is not a permanent part of your truth, and that if you just bless it for what it is in the moment and not keep identifying with it, you could bless that out of your life, whatever it is, and not be afraid of it and not afraid to go there. You know, everybody's afraid to go there. It's like, I'm not going to open that closet. If I do everything in it, it'll fall out on top of me. We feel like that about visiting the closet of our own minds very often. But it's worth the endeavor. It's the only way we're going to mend ourselves. And when we're mended, then we're ready to take on the world and help heal the world. But we have too many wounded amongst us. Too many of us are wounded in order to be able to meet the great challenges of today. Now, that's not saying, wounded or not, we still can make a big, big difference. But can you imagine what it would be like if you were fully engaged, fully energized, fully connected, and feeling the vibrancy and the zestfulness of what it is to know the power and the presence of the great I am is living and moving and having its being within me, and it is that which I am just in service to, and because I allow myself to be in service to the one and allow the one to lead me and guide me, doors open, the path that is made straight before me, though everything is going wrong on my right hand and everything is going wrong on my left hand. Nevertheless, as I move straight ahead, a gracious path is opened up before me for me to be able to be what I want to be and accomplish what I want to accomplish in sacred service, in what I wish to bring to aid the world. It's an amazing, awesome thing. Well worth the endeavor. And it's not to say that you're still at times not going to feel awful and terrible and blue and down in the dumps and find yourself sailing in the doldrums again. Yes, you will. The only difference is you'll know that's not lasting, that's temporary, and soon you'll be out of it. And don't judge it in any way. Say, oh, okay, this is a doldrum day, I can see that. I'm in the doldrums today. Okay, I'm in the doldrums today. I'll be the best I can be in the doldrums. I'm not going to rock the boat with all of my anxiety and complaints. I'm just going to say, okay, doldrums, here we are once again, and I am not going to feed you any of my energy. So I'm just going to relax until I'm out of this pocket of disturbance, because you have no control over me unless I give it to you. And I'm not going to do that. With anything of a negative nature that visits you, you can have the same response. Okay, I'm having a blue day today. I just feel so blue today. Okay, so I've reached the blue bottom blues today. That's my song. All right then. Every now and again, as I play the different songs in my life, one of those crops up, and it's a song. So I listen. But, you know, I'm only going to listen to it once. I don't want to keep repeating it and looping it all the time. And so I say, okay, in this blueness now, I honor the light, I honor the power, and I honor the presence of all that is the color of joy and peace. And that's what I'm seeing through the blueness, the color of joy and peace, whatever that is for you. So, my dear ones, you have the power. The power is given to you. The power is within you. The power is for you to use consciously for the good and not to be used by it randomly for God knows whatever. Choose this day the blessing or the curse. What is it going to be? Is this a blessed day or a cursed day? You get to decide that, and only you, and so do I. But I am knowing for you that there's something tickling you at the moment. There's something nudging you at the moment. And it's calling you to higher awareness of who you are and what you are and whose you are. And it's asking you to spend time in its presence and to give life and light and peace and love a chance. Give it a chance. You might be wondrously surprised. I always am, I can assure you. And just like you, I have my fair share of ups and downs and in and outs and all kinds of weather when it comes to mind and emotion. So the thing is to anchor yourself in the one and just go through it as graciously as you can by doing what you can with what you have in the moment, regardless of how you're feeling, and just be all you can be in that moment. And I guarantee you, it's going to be enough. Absolutely. Why can I say this? Because I know who you are, and I know what you are, and I know whose you are. And I'm knowing too that always, as I keep reminding us, each one of us is that point of light, that point of power, that point of love, through which the infinite one, the great I am itself, desires to express itself in all of its radiant magnificence. And all you and I have to do for that to happen is to say yes. Yes to that invitation. Here I am. Yes, I want to be the conscious outlet to the inlet of grace and love. So that's what we're asked to ponder today. And so I'll simply leave you with, do the best you can with what you have in the moment, here and now, and that will be more than enough. And you will be raising the consciousness on this plane, unifying us all and bringing the healing about. So, my dear ones, we're going to conclude our little time together today by celebrating all of our great, wonderful enoughness, all of our bounty, all of our good. And I'm going to get my gift here now. Here it is amongst the masks. I just saw on the television the other day, it was last night actually, and it was a little baby, about 1.5 or 2, and every time it saw a button or a little box on anything, be it on a counter, a tree, out and about, on a stone or a rock, it went over to it, 1.5, no more than 2, and it did this, and then it did this. And I had a great time going around everything, a button here or there, it would tip it, and then eventually it does get to a dispenser, and it's too tall. It can't reach it, it's trying to reach up, and I thought, oh my goodness, that child knows nothing else of life on this plane except that kind of thing. And then Hoda was saying that her little girl was watching something on television, and she saw some children, and then she said to her mommy, but they're not wearing their masks. Where are their masks? We're living in a whole different time, and these little ones are just coping with it tremendously well, much better, it seems, than we are at times. So we will take our cue from them and ask each other, where are your masks? And now we've been asked to wear double masks or else get the numero uno one. And so it's only for a little bit. It is an inconvenience, but it's only for a little bit. And if more of us would do that, the time would be shorter, whereby we do not have to do the masks anymore. But in the meantime, let's give everybody a feeling that we respect their need to feel safe by wearing our masks and using the dispensers and being very careful with each other. Because that's the way we serve each other best right now, is to safeguard each other's precious life. And just imagine, by simply wearing masks, taking care of the dispensers and keeping our hands clean and so on and so forth, we're giving people confidence, we're encouraging people, and we're making people feel better and not afraid. That's at least something we all can do, and it's very visceral, yes. So here we are, ready to share of our good, and so grateful that we can. Remember, we do what we can with what we have. And there's always in what we have enough to share some of with others, and it's the best feeling in the world when we do. So divine love consecrates our gift. It goes forth to heal, to bless, to prosper all those who give and all those who receive. We rejoice in the sharing of our good, and we release our gift with love. And so it is. And so until we meet again, and please try and meet us all in all the things we're offering. And those of you who are hesitant, please, to use the technology to stay in touch with each other, please call for help. We'll show you how to do it. It's simple enough to be in touch with members of our community who truly want to be in touch with you too. Reach out, ask. And don't keep saying, no, I can't do that. No, I can't do that. I can't has nothing to do with I am. Nothing. In fact, it denies the I am of ourselves every time we say I can't. So stop running by the seat of your cants, C-A-N-T-S, and start running on the grace of I am, therefore I can. Yes? Because that's what our love cry is this year. I am, therefore I can. Yes. And so take care of yourselves, take care of each other. Stay safe, stay in the presence and knowing that you're always guarded and guided and mindfully aware of that as you stay close and lean into the presence, lean into its grace and into its protection, and see how you'll feel so much lighter. So thank you for all your good deeds, your good thoughts, and your good feelings. That alone is making a huge difference in our world. Thank you so much to those of you who are helping out in so many ways, and so many of us are, and especially for the food angels who come along and keep our food pantry going, that we can never have too much of. So until we meet again, I'm going to leave you with the blessing and the goodbye greeting of the little ones. My grandniece and nephew taught me that one, Isla and Ryan. So keep those going out there, those wonderful energies of love. And we'll see you soon again. Take care now. God is with you. All is well.